Kuzombo everyone.
This is Neigh and Amu, another episode, another day.
Yes.
So today I think we shall talk about our professions because we've covered hobbies, us origins.
Yes. Our school life
our
and
school
growing
life, growing up.
And we are now into our adulthood.
थोड़ा बड़ा हो गए हम.
हाँ, मतलब physically तो मैं तो नहीं हुई हूँ बड़ी, but हो गए हैं हम बड़े. And yes,
We've gained more knowledge.
I suppose we have.
We are wiser and stronger.
So professionally, I am a vocal tutor and I work for an institute.
For a big company.
It's an online job.
Money.
And I work from home, so I have the privilege of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing this for many years now. I started working online. I started teaching online since COVID. I was taking physical classes, I was, of course, I was in Mumbai, I was studying music. But with that, I also got an opportunity to side-by-side teach students physically. So I had a connection.
That's nice.
Yeah, I had somebody get in touch with me and ask if I was into, I was interested in teaching kids the basics of singing and stuff. And I was like, why not? I'll be earning money while in a city where everything is expensive. I said, yes, why not? And then I joined an institute. And then I started working. But of course, earning money and working, and that has been something that's been a part of my life for some time.
So Ayla here is a very cool person because... No, this is not a joke. So Ayla here is a very cool person because she started earning, I think, in class 11, 10, was it 10 or 11?
11, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so somewhere around that time, that's quite big. And that time, I think we didn't have much knowledge about computers and YouTube courses.
Yes.
And stuff like that. So that is kind of big. So Ayla, would you like to elaborate on that?
I'd like to. So yes, I started, so I wouldn't say, that wasn't like a job that I had. It was just something that my friend and I, my best friend and I, Yui, she and I came across this thing called Polymer clay art. So there were these cute, food keychains, donut keychains.
Chalk and charms.
Yes, chalks and charms. Yes. We had an Instagram page and then we started in this whole thing. And I've had friends support it, they bought, they ordered things. So what we did was we did some research and this clay that these people were using was called polymer clay. And it was not available here.
Because Amazon wasn't so...
Yeah. And of course, we were not ordering from Amazon.
Deliver here, no, I think.
I'm not sure if they used to or not, but I didn't want to because I was scared also.
It's inconvenient, I think. It's not here.
And it wasn't available in India as much. So what happened was, luckily, Bhagwan le juraunu bhako bhanda chai, I had a friend, I have a batchmate, a friend, shout out to Biswa. So he's from Nepal and he was studying with us, no? He was traveling to Singapore. And then I thought maybe, I can ask him to look for polymer clay for me in Singapore. So he went to a lot of craft stores and he did find some. But polymer clay it is still expensive. And then back then, it was very, very expensive. And I was like, Acha, okay, could you just bring me a few, small pieces, a few colors, neutral colors. So we
was
could
it the same clay I gave you last time?
That's air dry clay.
Oh, that's
air
different,
dry.
no?
That's different. Also, I think considerably more affordable than polymer clay.
Because that was around 500 rupees, 300 rupees, I think.
I count bichara. Biswale, he got me 2 huge packets of these, clay. And they were 8 colors each. And I think he also got me different golden or silver liquid clay, translucent liquid clay. And then brought extra things also. And probably that costed him 8 to 10,000. I can't even, and I had no money to return, to him.
That's so sweet.
But that's what he was really, really sweet about it. And then we started our business. Okay, so Yusel and I, we started making things. Now, the thing about... I
usually used to make chocolates and...
my friends. My friend circle is full of people who are creative and talented and amazing. Really.
Birds of a feather.
Flock together. So we started making these things. Now, with polymer clay, because polymer, plastic, right? Plastic clay is what happens is you have to cure it. And to cure it, you have to bake it. अब bake bana भने त्यो microwave मा हैन because microwaves
You heat your food there.
yes right that and then the waves because microwaves
Yeah,
that
will
does not
destroy it,
react
yeah.
well with the plastic with the polymer so we needed an OTG oven okay which has no microwaves so we didn't have an OTG oven and garko microwave was not going to work also because baking that while it cures it releases fumes plastic fumes which is not healthy we should not be cooking in the same oven that we're baking it in no so then we had another friend shout out Prab Simran so yeah so then she helped us with the baking she was like use
the oven.
my ye wala then I think 2-3 batches we baked our clay there and then we we were
in
so happy in her house and then we were selling these to our friends who were supporting us they wanted rings and then I made a lot of things and cute
I'm so sorry I couldn't afford back then
hey it's fine
I had no money
moral support is also something
I used to share her pages
yes and that is important okay so then we started and then with the earnings we could buy a small oven of our own so then we got our own small OTG oven and then we started off but we didn't have a lot of time and then the clay was also the clay pani
to be honest
to be very honest and with that alongside that we had discovered this streaming platform okay it was a Chinese app and first we were just spectators and then later as I was singing somebody in the Indian India suggested that why don't you come under my team and then you can become a host.
So they were like designated teams to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Country wise state wise of course I don't think we had our state codes this guy who was my leader was
knew about it.
Yes, someone from Delhi or somewhere. And he said you sing really well. Do you know you can earn money on this platform? I was like, what? Really?
Money?
And he said, yeah. You'll have to sign up as a host, okay? Then you'll be, of course, representing your country. Indian host ho bhanera chai. And you have different categories to your streaming also. You can be a game, game streamer. You can dance, anything, any talent. So of course, I took it up, and then I was a music host, singer, right? So then that made me.
I think I've also been on your sessions.
Good amount of money. That made me a good amount of money, and then I was doing well as a host.
You really earned well, in that
I think the first earnings that I had was about 30,000. And I kid you not, there are people, there were people who were earning around a lakh in a week.
Seriously?
A lakh in a week.
And like that time?
Yes. There were hosts earning a lakh. Now, of course, see...
just for reference, I think Coke was like 35, something like that.
Yes. Do you know, it's a little shady, but because streaming, right? It could go
go wrong.
Yeah.
The other way.
Other way. So a lot of people were just earning, sitting there and talking, and which is fine, okay. But my point is, people were earning a lot of money, and I was into it, and then I was enjoying it so much because we were just sitting there, and of course we had targets. In a day, you had to spend around 2 to 4 hours, I think, if I was not wrong. And I was in school. I didn't have a lot to do. I wasn't. I wasn't.
We just waste time otherwise, no?
So exam na hunda chai, of course you can, whenever you didn't have exams, extra hours garyo. Okay, you have in a month you're supposed to be, I think 15 hours ko chai kati chai huncha target. You have to have hosted 30 hours. So you had, you were paid, and then you also got extra, okay, from all the gifts that people give you, because there to gift something you have to spend money, buy it, and then beans bane hunthyo. So you all
those beans convert to
money.
Currency. Okay.
Yes, and that is how your girl was earning money through streaming.
And she was treating us in school like it's nobody's business.
And as it was getting better,
but I didn't know her so well then. I did not get that treat. Sad hours.
But, because of that app, because of the streaming and hosting, I made a lot of great friends. Friends in the sense of these were, older people.
I mean.
But throughout the world, okay? In different countries. Most of my friends were Nepali, nahi, because that is, it's more, it's fun and more
somebody
relatable
who speaks
also.
Your tongue,
Oh, yes, that way. And I made a lot of friends from Nepal, amazing people.
Also from the US who were
Nepali only. Matlab te US, different countries. Dubai, Korea, Japan,
flexing.
Everywhere. And such nice people, really, really. Shout out to my Nepali friends.
So you were introduced to networking and stuff very early on.
I suppose. Yes,
and
but of course I did think of it that way, right?
Yeah,
And they
gave
me
you an edge.
And they were planning so many shows. What happened was we were also invited to perform in Nepal. So my guitarist friend Chultim, who's also in Kathmandu right now, he's doing his jazz studies there. So Chultim and we were invited to perform there for a fundraiser event. So we did that as well. It was so fun. They took care of us. We got to meet all of the friends that I was just seeing through screen. It was lovely. That event was really good. And then of course they were planning a lot of other things also in different countries, but it was difficult for us to go. We were kids also, and a whole another country. It was a little intimidating. Right, but it was going great.
Not so trusting.
But as great as it was going, India decided to ban this app, okay? And I think along with that, TikTok went. So many other things
TikTok,
also went. But man, it was great.
Bye Zender.
So yeah.
You remember Zender?
Yes, and then a lot of WeChat
Zender,
and whatnot.
Zender was cool,
share going, it was cool.
It was a very cool app.
So so money earning has come easy to me.
So you know the ways. You unlocked.
Yes. So I've never.
She's teaching me.
Yeah, and I've never.
So subscribe to the next channel for 99 rupees. No, I'm kidding.
Money.
Finance with Pema.
I suck at it.
Okay, just the earning bit.
Yes, the earning bit is
somebody else does the finance. We can open a channel actually.
My partner. Shout out, Bubby. Or do we say shout out to Bubby?
Shout out. No, I think it's just like shout. I don't know what the lingo is now.
Whatever. Okay, you got it right. But that is a lot about me. Let's talk about you. Of course, you're professionally right now just exploring because you're still studying. You're still in college. But tell me about what you're studying in. How's that going? And what do you think you want to be doing?
So I am a microbiology student and I'm in my final year. Got like a semester left. And I'm studying for some competitive exam as well right now for my master's, which I'm okay with. And I've decided to study further because I kind of like the subject.
Yes.
So although there are times when you're bored with your thing, I think that's like with everybody.
You're bored of life some days.
So the story for me goes like this. I came out of school. I did my NEET. I said that before. I didn't get through and that's okay. So after that, I sat for another entrance because after that the rules had changed. So you had to sit for CUET because during your time, I think CUET was not there. This was for something else, no?
Yeah, I suppose.
Different universities had like their own entrances.
Yes.
Yeah. But then this CUET started, common entrance started, okay? So I sat for that. Then after that, I qualified to go to DU and BHU. BHU for psychology.
But.
And DU for microbiology. But I was not like well versed or with the system, or I did not know much about the system. And apparently you need to pay. So this is something very important. Apparently you need to book your seat. So supposing you got a seat through your qualification, through your merit, through your hard work, you book that seat. So seat booking takes like around, I think 20,000 or like 2,000 rupees. I don't know, something very minimal.
Okay.
I didn't do that.
Clearly.
Yeah. So then I had no seat. But that's fine.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So I had seat here in government college here. So I took that because, I mean, I would have been whooped if I wasted another year. Like I would have been pooped if I wasted another year because I was just wasting time.
Yeah.
What happens during competitive exams is you don't realize how much time has passed by, you know?
Yes.
And then how much things have changed. Your
and
friends
you just
have
get
changed.
into that loop, no?
You're stuck in the same, like I used to tell my friends, I feel like I have not grown at all, you know? Like it's the same Tshering
Yeah.
like from class 12 and that's not nice.
You want to come out.
So then I wanted to pursue my like further education. So I went to college and I was terrified because I was a week late because I did not have my uniform. And then I went down and then I missed the orientation completely and I didn't know where things were, what department, what class you're supposed to go to. I didn't know where the toilet was and stuff like that. But I went down and then I went to the class and my batchmates, they were already friends with each other because a week is a lot of time. Because human seeks connection always, no? So if you're in a new environment, you'll obviously try to make friends. You reach out. So then I had no friends.
Oh, so but it gets better.
Yeah, it gets better. And then I sat down in the front of the class because...
Why not?
And then the professor came in, and then he had introduced himself to everybody but me. So then he asked my name.
Okay.
And he just asked my name and stuff and everything. And then since I was late, he asked me a few questions.
How did that go?
And then I answered all of them because just kind of like easy questions, basic questions about science. And it was easy because I just finished my my entrance exam, for something else. And then I was like, okay, this is like NCRT biology, and I could answer. So that's kind of basic. So that was very important because then he was like, oh, okay, she actually pays attention, and I think, that was something important. And then I think
also his first impression of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I'm a very quiet person initially.
Yes, initially is important.
Initially, I'm very quiet. Just I think that classic example of an introvert.
Yes.
Although people will argue I am not an introvert, but I am. And then we sat down, and then like one of the important questions he asked me was, okay, how did you end up here? No. So then I was very
what happened?
Like, how did you end up here? Why are you doing microbiology? I think for him it was very important because these people, they are very passionate about their subject.
Makes sense.
And it's okay to talk to them because they know about stuff. They have made it in their subjects, because being a professor is not easy
at all.
I don't know if even being assistant professor is tough. It's a long journey. It's a very long journey.
Yes.
A long academic. You come from and then so it's very tough. And then I did not know all that. By the way, even I was like, teacher and all that.
College
Honestly,
teacher.
Anybody would be like that only. But I did not know. And then I knew nothing about it. So I said, I gave a very honest reply. I said, so I'd given my entrance exam and I didn't get through. So this was like my backup option. It sounded cool, microbiology. And in our class 12 also, we had studied about all these genes and stuff, and I found it interesting always. So then I said I wanted to do that. That's why. But I honestly don't know much about the subject, and I want to learn more about the subject. Okay, because prior to that I was kind of lost, and that happens with everybody because you're just pushed into the world, no?
Yes.
Like you're like, okay, now you decide.
School was a shell, and now you're like,
And then it's easy as long as you're studying. So then I heard this chat by a motivational speaker. I think it came to me. It was like a godsend. So the chat said, okay, if you're confused about what to do something so that you'll at least know that you want to do that or you don't want to do that. Don't do nothing. That was the advice that he said. And I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense, So I should just go for it instead of sitting at home and rotting.
Yes.
So then after that I joined, and then the classes were smooth. I started getting well versed with the the topics, the subject and everything. And I found it kind of interesting because we had I love practical stuff, okay? I love when you see results and you're hands-on with things. So we have a lot of lab work and we get to...
So I've heard a lot about
we get to grow bacteria, study them, study what they do, And there's some other interesting things about antibiotic resistance, which we're still learning about. We just know briefly because we were taught in... And antibiotic resistance, how doctors say you have to complete a course.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's 5 days, 10 days.
Yeah. You have to complete the antibiotic course. Otherwise, you build resistance. So what does that mean is then after that, after a certain point, drugs will be ineffective to you. So even if you're sick, they give you antibiotic. It will not work because you have developed resistance to the drug. So it's kind of... And then I think prior to this year, we were given the task of writing papers, and whoever was interested in writing papers, they could research. Yeah. So, and we were new to research. I mean,
yes. Of course, there's a way to do things. You can't just
and it's not like essay writing. It's a very tedious and it's easy if you learn, but there's a procedure to do things, and it's kind of interesting. You get to study papers from other scholars. Okay. And what they've done, what work they've done.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then you get to choose a topic of your liking. So, me and my batchmate, the two of us were kind of interested, okay? We were invested, and we said so we will do it, we will do it. And then different topics, both of us, and then we did research. We have 2 papers, I think. We have 2 papers yet to be published.
Ooh, okay.
it's not a research paper, it's a review paper. It's a little easier than writing actual research because...
Like a book review.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're reviewing the paper, what are our thoughts on it. And then we've read the review comes from reviewing different papers of the same topic.
Oh, okay.
So my topic was on permafrost. I will not go into the depths of that.
Okay.
Permafrost and whether or not Parkinson is related to your gut health, gut microbiome.
Is it? I'm guessing it is.
Yeah, speculations are it is. But I'll get that again. Won't get into it so much. And then
do you have a certain number of research papers that you have to read to review?
So there's something called citations and stuff like that. So if you haven't read, how will you review? No.
Yes,
it's
correct.
like saying it's like basic knowledge. I mean,
no, but
I
one topic. One topic could have like 100 research papers.
But you don't have to read hundreds.
Yeah,
of them.
Exactly. So you have like this certain number of at least.
You have to. No. The more the better.
Acha, okay, got it.
Okay, so supposing you have 2. Okay, you've done research on 2 papers, but I mean, in the scientific world, it won't be so strong.
Or enough.
Your point, because you've only done research on 2 papers, right?
Of course, you have to cite also how many research papers you've read.
Everything you have to cite. It's very important. Otherwise, plagiarism.
Yes.
So it's interesting. And our professor taught us how to do that, right? Professor, teacher, yeah. But then then after that I did something that was fun. It was hard work.
See how passionately she's talking about her subject.
Yeah.
She
so
loves
I think I could not go away with academia. I think.
Yes.
That was my what was called a Roman Empire. Am I using it correctly?
I
don't
am
think
not
so.
well versed with that.
Yeah. Anyways, but so that happened. And then there are other interesting topics as well, which we encountered. So after that, people might ask, like, what you want to do?
Yes. What do you want to do?
And I have some plans, which are like research related.
You want to be researching long term?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. And because you can not stop learning, right?
Yeah, I mean, learning is a lifetime
it's a very
process.
You're
thing. Learning.
So I would love to work with more scientists and share ideas
and geek together. That sounds fun, really.
And understand things and make the state proud and stuff like that. That's always there. That's the ultimate goal. But then I just don't want to be like stuck in a loop. I will put myself out there.
Yes,
that is something I really
you should
focus on. And I keep telling that also. Even you agree to that.
Yes. And I mean about profession profession will come down to your finances and how much you're earning, but this is the day and age of multiple and multiple sources
career,
of income, right? So you're not
you could
just
be a business owner and a scientist.
Yes, definitely. That is what we're aiming.
Yeah, we're aiming to do.
So we're going to be doing a lot of things.
It's like this. See, if you have skills, use them. Use them to your advantage. And then like try to get a certification, because then you'll be like kind of legit, no? So if you're legit, you get paid.
Yeah. I agree, because of course now I have been teaching for many years, right? That is my primary source of income. That is how I've been working. But when you start off, you were asked questions like, okay,
where did you do your
where did you do your, like, what did you study? What certifications do you have? What have you studied? And then your certification courses for music, especially if vocal sabani, either it's Trinity or RSL, Rock School London, like, do you have certifications? I have learned and taught up to grade 8 for both Trinity and RSL, but I don't have the certificates because they're expensive. Okay,
so to just get the certificate also you have to
you have to
that's like loot, man.
Of course my institute guides you through the exams. Okay, so I have taught I'm probably certified to be a Trinity and RSL teachers, so right? So what happens is, for let's say you want to do your Rock School London course grade exam.
It's such a good school.
Yeah, and this is like initials through 8 unsa, right? And each grade that you go up, your fees also go up. So yeah, so अब यो RS grade 8 को I
crazy
think you
था
have to pay around कति भन्नु त?
So you finished everything?
Yes.
But you don't have the certificate?
No, course wise I have done like सबै Trinity grade 8 सम्म नै डल्लै and
That's
RSL
cool,
grade
man.
8 also because I'm teaching also, no?
Yeah.
I'm also guiding students
Also,
through
Ayla believes in the notion that if you haven't learned it yourself,
you can't teach it.
yes,
Okay?
that is a very, like,
That's
if I didn't know
scammy,
much about,
man.
Yeah.
That is scammy.
Like,
How
she's
can-
not talking about microbiology.
Yeah, like
She
I'm
can.
not gonna say
She can.
Ani, I have like basic knowledge of it, but
Yeah.
that's
And I'm
irresponsible.
not talking about music
also.
theory. Although
Yeah.
I do music because I
Yeah.
don't know much. And I'm not trained.
And I hate music theory, but because you have to teach it,
Yeah.
you have to know it yourself. Okay, and of course your grade exams are not much about theory, and theory jati huncha, it's more practical. So if you're learning about, let's say, a certain scale, of course first you'll learn your major, minor, whatever, right? Then let's say you're learning about pentatonic scale, you'll have to sing it, no? To sing it, of course I can just teach you, but what is a pentatonic scale? If I don't know, how am I going to teach you that? I can teach you how to sing it. That to YouTube, I can send you a link.
Yeah.
But that's irresponsible,
That I can
right?
also do.
Right? You can
Like, I'm
look
not
it up.
even- yeah.
Look, why do
I
you
don't
need
have
me?
certificates.
Exactly, right? So please build your skills if you're
Yeah.
wanting to teach. That is one thing that I am truly, I believe in.
Then you can also go into, you get jobs. If you really want to earn, no, even as a student, you can go into, I think, you can go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn offers
Yes.
a lot of jobs. And like, I was shook when I first found out because you get like a tutoring job, and for my thing, I could actually tutor and
Yeah.
earn. And I think it's decent money. 15K, 30K for a student is like,
And that is like your
Okay.
basic starting salary
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of jobs. So money making, don't think of it as something very, very difficult. Unless you're wanting to make lakhs in a month, then that requires deadly skill
Yeah, yeah.
honing, studying. You have
also-
to excel in your subject.
also,
But otherwise,
no, you shouldn't think like a certain kind of work is beneath you. If you really want to earn,
yes, that
you
mentality.
You start like with,
Oh, nee.
you start here, like,
Yes, yes.
you're not even here. It's like below.
Yeah, I
can't
was
show
doing
you.
150 per class when I was in Mumbai,
Yeah,
Euta class ko, and I had to travel. Of course, I was given the travel expenses, everything, but I had to travel somewhere and teach a student for an hour to earn 150 rupees. Okay, that's where I came from. Now, of course, I have it's a salaried uyo. But
It's also like,
you have to start somewhere.
For artists, like when I sold my first stuff, it's very cheap. Like,
Yeah, because
I've
you don't know
sold-
how to value
Yeah,
your uyo.
I've sold
That
portraits
again.
for 500 rupees, and these were like realistic
Yes,
portraits.
yes.
Yeah,
But
anyways.
we didn't have guidance.
Yeah, we
okay?
didn't have guidance. Also,
But you have us.
Gigs are also like that. No?
Yeah,
You
gigs.
don't know. Yeah.
Don't sell yourself short. Now
Yeah.
I have to stop doing gigs here
I used to do
because
free gigs, man. What are you saying?
yeah. So I feel like if you're good at something, don't do it for free. We hear that a lot, and I believe in it now. And I'm not I'm not even very popular fame wise, but I know what I
But
know.
I
know I'm
am-
skilled,
yeah.
right? And I'm not going to sell myself short.
I'm providing professional skill
Yes.
that you require.
Yeah,
no?
and that I have also spent lakhs of money into honing. So it's fine to not take up jobs like that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
That keeps your mental peace also.
Lay.
So yeah, there's multiple ways you can earn. We're discovering that, and
Research. Do your research. Okay.
Do
Be
your
good at
research.
something. If you're
You
good
be
at
good,
something,
yeah.
research.
hone your skills.
Yes, and hone it.
You will have, like, if you are good at typing, writing,
Even
content
that, you
creator.
can make money with that as well.
Yeah,
And
you can be a writer.
proofreading,
Yeah,
right?
You can be a writer. You can transcribe stuff. Like, supposing we post a YouTube video,
Yes.
you need people to caption it, right?
My recent
proofread
side
the-
quest, yes, proofreading. My recent side quest was translation job.
Yeah, exactly. If you're
So I had- yeah.
bilingual or trilingual,
I had a scholar from, I'm sorry, but I don't know if it was Mizoram or somewhere, but a scholar,
You
okay,
should- yeah, they were there.
and he had come here to do some research on local tales, fables and tales of the past, supernatural, and they had gone to Lachung and Lachin, and the recording was purely in Sikkimese, Bhutia.
yeah.
And this gig was given to me by my brother. So he asked me, you can do translations. I was like, yeah, I'm well versed with my language. I'm fluent in it, and I can definitely translate. And then I got in touch with this person. They called me and then they told me, you have to translate it. So Bhutiako stories, Lachunga, Lachan Mathubro resa, So I did that. And I earned money. You know your language. you can find jobs for it. Translation jobs, especially because there are a lot of scholars traveling around, looking for
Also,
stories. And
not only that, I mean, the philosophy in our lands, it's so rich, the history.
Yes.
For every culture, I think. Nepali.
Yeah, I'm also getting into learning all of these stories. Yeah, we have a lot of of course,
Very
people could be a little, like people, whether they believe it or not. I have stories that my father has passed down, about some supernatural things that used to happen. And it's very interesting. So I'm also getting into that.
Yeah.
That is my other side quest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I'm just doing for my sake because interesting, right? I'll be putting that out as well. But
a scholar, indeed.
yeah. So you know a language, you're good in it, you'll get a job. You can earn money through that also.
Don't have this. So before, I had this thing where I thought people will seek me out because I'm good. That really does not happen.
Yeah, I've done.
No, you did not have that.
Oh yeah, lay.
I was damn cocky. I was very cocky with my skills. I still am, but I seem cocky, but I'm not. It's often like that. A lot of people have told me that you seem very cocky.
Close friends also, I think.
Yeah. Maybe I am cocky. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you getting the Cocky Energy podcast?
Are you?
Anyways, then yeah. So you have to put yourself out there, and then people have to at least know that you're good at something. No, before they pick you, they won't be like, oh, you seem like you sing,
yeah,
or
you have this written on your forehead.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
See, now saying that again, we're not sitting here and being like, oh, we've done so much with. But in my field, I mean, teaching, and everything, I have put myself out there, and I have been doing well.
Yeah.
I have extra responsibilities. I'm hosting a global event. I'm also judging the global event competition. So professionally, I have put myself out there, and I've gotten a lot of opportunities. So do it.
Even for research, the professor asked, and then if you're shy, and then you're like, okay, this guy will pick me. No, you have to go and ask, can I work with you? Your study is interesting. I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And only then people will know that. Oh,
yes, and what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
They'll say no. And even then, that is not the worst thing.
Then you'll be like, oh, okay. And
that's
then you move on to the next person. Yeah.
What if town then?
What if town then? So you miss, I don't know what, you miss 100% of the chances you don't take.
Yes. So
that is something.
Yes.
And during my research with a lot of things, there's this interesting topic which I came by about a fungus.
Oh.
So I don't know much, but then I just briefly read past that.
Oh, wait. Is it about this zombie fungus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've heard about
yes,
that.
I've heard.
Do you know about the game, The Last of Us?
I think there's a series.
There's a series. It's based on a game. So there basically all the people turn into zombies because of the fungal spores, claviceps. Yeah.
So they take over the body.
The body, and then they can't think anymore. It's just the fungus thinking and attacking people.
Okay.
And their main, that's about the game, not the real. And the main motive is to just spread and reproduce.
Oh, but but they don't have a conscience, no, or they don't have a nervous system or brain. So we're
no, I mean.
But of course, everything that is living wants to reproduce.
Yeah.
So
the cool thing with fungus is they can they reproduce, or they
multiply.
Multiply by spore formation.
And I recently watched a video of a mushroom also. As it grew, they just spread out the spores like that, like that. Yeah. So is that how it goes?
Yeah. So these have spores, and they spread out. They multiply like that. And they can spread it or spray it, or they drop in the area where they grow.
Okay.
And then it gets into the animal, insects, our clothes gets transmitted like that. Not transmitted is the word I forgot. Anyway, pollinated. Yes. God, basics.
Got it.
Anyways, but there is this fungus about. I think it's called a zombie ant something. And we read about it when we had an elective. We had botany as an elective.
Okay.
So what happens is the fungus is the fungal spore, which is the small, small talcum powdered sized things. This is eaten by the insects.
Okay.
Let's just say ant. Okay. So the ant eats it, and then now this fungus is growing inside the ant.
The ant. Okay.
okay, in spaces, and then
So it's feeding off of it.
once it grows, all the nutrition is being derived from the
Okay.
ant. Okay, but it's keeping it alive.
Okay, so symbiosis.
Yeah. But like the negative kind. Okay, so it's keeping it alive just to keep like providing the fungus food source and then taking it wherever it wants to go.
Okay.
Okay, so ultimately what happens is the ant is taken over by the fungus, right? And it's completely controlled by the fungus, and ultimately the fungus grows out of the
So grows in and then it grows out of it.
it grows out of the insect, ultimately killing it.
Okay.
And then the ant is like completely listening to the fungus.
I mean,
because it's controlling
yes.
like some chemicals and stuff like that. And these are like cool things.
Very interesting.
Which you would want to like research on.
Yeah, of course. I think I'm gonna.
I'm fumbling because it's like kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
and she's very passionate about it.
And then
so it can take over humans, or has there any?
No, I don't. Has
there been any like research?
No. I think we're safe.
Okay.
No Last of Us happening.
Acha. Thank God. God forbid.
There are a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, I don't think we have, researched enough and explored enough of these scary plants.
With the recent finding also, remember that the flavored water?
Yeah, yes.
The flavored water. I mean, that looked dirty like in the beginning only before they did the test. So the water test and all like that, I'll tell you what coliforms. Coliforms are basically...
Water.
Yeah, coliforms are basically bacteria which is like found in your poo. So if anything states like that contains... It's like coliforms there.
It has poop.
You're drinking poo water, okay? So that was not cool.
Yeah.
But then that looked dirty because once I had opened this bottle and there were like floating bits inside and it was like a new packet. And I used to hate that water because
I think my life ma dui bottle I've had that water the mint
that
flavored
package,
and stuff. Yeah, and
then
that too
there was
because
like peach and stuff also,
Yes, that too because we didn't want the 2 liter.
We were so thirsty,
Yes.
But anyways, that was bad. So now you know what coliforms are.
If this was somewhere in the US,
It would be a big
everyone
thing. It would be
and
a very,
everyone
very
would be compensated.
Yeah.
Because it's a health hazard,
Yeah.
right? So of course now it's died down. I don't know what happened with it, but that's that.
But then I think that is the end of the careers, and then like
I think that's it about.
And then there are a lot of key takeaways. For example, earning money is easy if you do research well.
Do one thing, do it well.
Yeah. And you build your skills. Don't worry about what the future has in store. It's good to think about your future.
Yeah, you have to.
Plan
Of
it
course,
well.
you can't be reckless and do whatever you want. You know?
But like, try something.
Yeah, and take responsibility of your own life.
Try
right?
something and see if you like it or not. If you like it, go ahead with it. You know, if you're passionate enough, you will earn.
Yes.
Like I have seen people, I have met people who have earned, and I have also met people doing the same thing who have not earned and are like, no, this subject is bad.
Yeah, it's all about what you're doing with what you have.
Doing with what you have. Using it to your best abilities.
Yes.
Get your skills done, get your certification done. Earning becomes easy.
Yes.
And then just try out new stuff like we are. We don't know where this will take us.
Yeah, but we have other things in plan.
Yeah, we have planned other things.
Look forward to it.
So we're going to try everything we like.
Yeah, yes. It's going to be a fun gala time here, okay?
I think that's it for today.
Yes, that's it for today.
See you in the next one.
Talk to you in the next one. Bye.